Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today we're going to be playing Gravekeepers. Gravekeepers are a group of Dark and Earth spellcaster type monsters which completely ruin the opponent. They prevent the opponent from doing much of anything at all. Primarily the deck is focused around locking the opponent down, preventing them from special summoning, preventing them from resolving monster effects, preventing them from destroying their cards. Everything is about controlling the opponent. The skill that we're using is Life Point Boost Alpha. You gain 1,000 life points. It's basically the only good skill that the deck can use. The deck doesn't have any support, so you're relying on your cards only. For the main deck, we have Gravekeeper's Commandant. You can discard this card to add 1 Necro Valley from your deck to your hand. Fantastic. It's a level 4 monster. We can use it for fusion material if we don't need to effect, but it allows us to get even more Necro Valleys to make sure that we always have it. Gravekeeper's Headman. If this card is summoned, you can target 1 level 4 Gravekeeper monster in your graveyard. Special summon it in attack position or face down defense position. You can only use this effect of Gravekeeper's Headman once per turn. This effect is unaffected by Necro Valley. That's fantastic. So we use this card to bring back our Spiritualist and then fusion summon again. It's a great 1-card link to or fusion. Gravekeeper's Spiritualist. During your main phase, if Necro Valley is on your field, you can special summon 1 spellcaster fusion monster using this card you control and other monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, once per turn. Spiritualist is our main monster. It's how we set up a board so that we can't be killed in battle. It's a slow game, but Spiritualist will allow us to get a little bit of incremental value, and you'll take a look at our fusion monster in just a moment. Necro Valley Throne. Activate 1 of these effects, add a Gravekeeper's monster from your deck to your hand, or immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 Gravekeeper's monster. You can only activate 1 Necro Valley Throne per turn. This will draw us Necro Valley, because we can draw the Commandant and discard it to get Necro Valley. If we don't need Commandant or we don't need Necro Valley, we can draw our Spiritualist or our Headman. And if we really don't need any extra monsters from our deck, we can use it to get a extra normal summon. So it either sets up link summons or it allows us to easily search any card in our deck. Run this card at 3, it's fantastic. Necro Valley. All Gravekeeper's monsters gain 500 attack and defense points. Cards of the graveyard cannot be banished. Negate any card that would move another card in a graveyard to another place. Negate any card or effect that changes types or attributes in the graveyard. What can I say about Necro Valley? It is the most toxic floodgate that's ever existed. This card has been eroded so many times. It is so frustrating, and a lot of people will just concede when they see this card hit the field. There are decks like Blackwings and Infernity and other decks that will go out of their way to draw this card because it shuts down everyone else. So for it to not affect you and affect everyone else and also give you an extra benefit of buffing all your monsters, it's fantastic. You should run this at 3. You should play it every game. It will win you games. Dark Hole, just make sure that we don't die. Hidden Temples of Necro Valley. If a Gravekeeper monster and Necro Valley are both on the field, neither player can special summon monsters except Gravekeeper monsters, and if either a Gravekeeper's monster or Necro Valley is not on the field, destroy this card. So Hidden Temples is a very Gravekeeper type of a card. It locks the opponent down and doesn't apply to you. The only problem with Hidden Temples of Necro Valley is that it is a state-based card, which means that it will always check if there is not a Necro Valley or not a Gravekeeper monster on the field, even in the middle of a chain. So if you use your Spiritualist to fusion summon into another monster, even though the start of the chain you had a monster on the field and the end of the chain you had a monster on the field, if you at any point during the fusion summon have no monsters on the field, such as if you send every monster on your field to the graveyard as fusion material, Hidden Temples will destroy itself. That's very annoying. Make sure that you don't activate Hidden Temples until you're done fusion summoning. Lastly, we have Imperial Tombs of Necro Valley. When a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated while both a Gravekeeper monster and Necro Valley are on the field, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. You can only activate 1 Imperial Tombs of Necro Valley per turn. So this is a searchable Omni-Negate. That's fantastic. Now the problem is, just like with Hidden Temples, you need both a Gravekeeper monster and Necro Valley on the field. That makes this deck entirely revolve around Necro Valley, which is really hard to deal with, but it is what it is. For the extra deck, we have Quintet Magician, fuse 5 monsters, and it has 4,500 attack points, can't be destroyed by card effects. That's not going to happen. Dark Rebellion Exceeds Dragon. This would be great if Headman was level 4, but it's not, so it's hard to make this card. Malevolent Sin, same thing. Knightmare Phoenix and Knightmare Unicorn. If you are able to link off, you can pop some back row and get rid of some cards that are annoying. That's pretty good. And lastly, our boss monster, Gravekeeper Supernaturalist. This requires 2 Gravekeeper's monsters. It gains attack and defense equal to the combined original levels of the materials used for its fusion summon times 100. So, if you have Spiritualist and you fusion summon with Headman, that is 700 attack points, which means that Gravekeeper Supernaturalist will have 2700 attack points, or 3200 if you have Necro Valley out. While Necro Valley is on the field, this card and any card in your field zone cannot be destroyed by card effects. During your main phase, you can activate this effect. During the end phase of this turn, add a Gravekeeper's monster or a Necro Valley card from your deck to your hand. You can only activate this effect once per turn. So you will usually use this to get Throne, because Throne will allow you to search any Gravekeeper's monster. You don't know what you're going to draw, so getting a search that happens during the end phase, you want to try and be as flexible as possible. This is a great card. Protecting our Necro Valley from being destroyed is huge. This card also can't be destroyed while Necro Valley is on the field, so you can play Dark Hole and destroy all of your opponent's monsters, but not yours. This is basically how we win the game. Summon this card, pass to your opponent, just keep drawing cards that you need. They will run out of resources before you do because their graveyard is locked down. Alright, let's take a look at the replay. Alright, we are going first against Tachyon Dragon Domination. It's our turn. Or no, I'm sorry, we're going second. Alright, we're going second against Tachyon Dragon Domination. Tachyon Dragon Domination, set 3 and pass. Our turn, we activate Commandant to draw Necro Valley. Then we activate Necro Valley, and our opponent is going to immediately MST it. That is very unfortunate. That means that we can't fusion summon because Spiritualist requires Necro Valley to be on the field. So we normal summon our Spiritualist, and our opponent is going to Floodgate Trap Hole it and set it face down. That's also unfortunate. We set 2 cards and we pass. Our opponent's turn. They can now use their skill. They draw another level 8, set a level 8 face down. Flip it face up and return it to the hand to draw their counter trap. And then they use Nebula Dragon to special summon both and go into the Tachyon. Attack into the Spiritualist and pass. It's our turn. We activate Necro Valley because we drew it. That's fantastic, our second Necro Valley. We're going to normal summon Spiritualist. The opponent is going to Effect Veiler. Now, Spiritualist can't activate its effect because we don't have any other monsters in our hand or on the field. But that's fine. We ate an Effect Veiler, so we're happy about that. Pass the opponent. The reason that we summoned in attack position was so that we could be able to have our counter trap active, by the way. The opponent sets 1 and then enters the battle phase. We activate the Imperial Tombs of Necro Valley in response to Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon's effect being activated. Since this would destroy Tachyon Dragon, the opponent has no choice but to activate their counter trap in response. He destroys our monster. We take 1500 and it's our turn. We draw and we activate Necro Valley Throne. That's exactly what we needed. We draw our Headman, and now we normal summon Headman and use this effect to revive our Spiritualist. Our opponent is going to chain Book of Moon and set Headman face down. That's fine, doesn't negate the effect. So Spiritualist comes back and the opponent is going to activate Crackdown in response to Spiritualist being played. We have another counter trap, so we negate and destroy. Now we activate Spiritualist. Even though our Headman is face down, it doesn't matter. You can use face down monsters as fusion material. So we fusion summon into Supernaturalist, and we'll use Supernaturalist to draw a card. We beat over the Tachyon and pass. We draw Throne just in case. It's our opponent's turn. They draw. They drew Seifert, which can't draw them a level 8 by itself. Return it to the hand to grab the Baron's Force, and then concede because they have no options. There you go. So our opponent destroyed our Necro Valley. Our opponent was able to beat over us twice in a row. We still managed to draw a card that would allow us a 1-card fusion summon while we had Necro Valley on the field, and we had our counter traps to stop our opponent and negate their cards. This is the power of Gravekeepers. This is the power of a deck that can easily control and lock down the opponent's graveyard. My name is Serafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.